at the trade deadline next week. And what does it mean for our buddy Cooper DeJean? I'm here with Jamie Lynch. My name is Rich Hofmann, and we will be talking about it next on the PHLY Eagles Show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PHLY Eagles Show, presented by Bet365 and Ashley, live from the Xfinity studio. My name is Rich Hofmann. I am here with my friend Jamie Lynch, and I first have to say, Jamie, I would like to thank our good friend David Baker for filling in yesterday. Wonderful work by Dave.
What an honor to have a legend, an NFL legend in the studios here. Wow. We've really made it.
I mean, it was also great to see our buddy Zach Berman get leap year wherever books are sold. But I knew Zach was good at the podcast. I did not know the chops that David Baker had. Now, there was an unfortunate incident apparently on the elevator yesterday. But throughout the show, David did, I got to say, a great job. Yeah, well, Julia's making a funny face at me. I believe he ate Andrew on the elevator.
I heard. Yeah, he ate Andrew. Yes. R.I.P. Andrew. It was a good run. Yeah, all I could hear was Santa. David Baker reminded me a lot of Santa yesterday. So maybe he's also Santa.
Yeah. Well, James, besides David Baker, we have a lot to talk about today. And, you know, it has to do with Howie Roseman wheeling and dealing and making a big trade. Not a big trade. A trade, but feeding the old content machine that we live on. Oh, wait, but before we get to that, I believe we have some news from and an update from our international correspondent, EJ Smith. I believe he is,
the old newsroom
is calling in from
We
Paris.
found this hidden gem in France. It's my favorite French bistro. It's called Le McDonald's.
I've never heard of that place before.
It must be new. I will say this. Well, I've traveled the globe a little bit. I am always intrigued by the McDonald's overseas because they have different stuff than we do sometimes. I like to see the menu in the different language. Sometimes they have different variations of things. So I'm pro stopping in a McDonald's while traveling.
Am I wrong that in Pulp Fiction, John Travolta is talking about the Royale with cheese?
Yeah.
That's France, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's no big kahuna burger, but well, EJ should go get one of those as well. Maybe he should go to Le Starbucks as well, Starbucks as well. But that is enough of me butchering the French language and with the bad accent, Jamie. Okay.
I am on the French McDonald's menu right now. Look at the M.
The M. Le M.
Yeah, the Royale cheeseburger, the Royale bacon cheeseburger. Yes. Yeah, they got different stuff. I mean, this looks pretty good.
Well, I hope EJ and Julia are having fun over there.
Not our Julia, his
Julia.
Yeah.
HJ. Yeah. So I hope they're having fun.
They have chicken wings. See, I told you. Mickey D's across the world. Spicy McVeggie. They got a McVeggie.
It seems like they got a lot of options.
They got a lot. Look at these boxes of fries. Cheddar and bacon fries. Wow.
Do you want to just spend the whole show reading the McDonald's menu in France? I mean,
Caesar salads, chicken Caesar salads.
I mean, this looks like one-stop shopping.
Yeah.
You want healthy food. If
they
you
got everything.
Yeah, they got everything.
Their McFlurry machines apparently work. All right, no more free advertising, McDonald's. Get lost.
Welcome back.
Donuts?
To the PHLY Eagles Show presented by McDonald's. Okay, Jim.
Donuts.
Yeah, they got a lot.
Crazy.
They got a lot of stuff here. But you know what they don't have? Michael Carter II.
No, they do not, Rich.
But you know who does have them? These Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles make a trade yesterday. We had an emergency pod. Again, Howie Roseman is wheeling and dealing and feeding the content machine. And as you guys see on the screen up there, thank you, Lindsay, the Eagles receive Michael Carter II, and a 2027 7th rounder. Jets get John Mechie III. John Mechie, we hardly knew ye, for a 2027 6th rounder. And per Ian Rappaport, Carter was so interested in playing with the Eagles that he waived his 2026 injury guarantee to join the Eagles, which was $5 million. So, all right, they're getting a motivated guy. I find that a little surprising for a guy who was traded for this price, but that's pretty cool.
I mean, it's crazy what the New York Jets will do to a man. You know, like you're so desperate to get out of there that you're just like willing to waive a $5 million clause. I don't know if I can do that, but good on him. He wants to be here. Very exciting. This essentially was a nothing trade because John Mechie, as of last week when A.J. Brown was out, I brought up to Bo in the pregame. I was like, do we actually see John Mechie today? He was not contributing to this team in any way, shape, or form. So you basically swapped a nothing for a position of need, and you're taking a chance on a guy, and you swap some picks because he is here next year. So ultimately, I guess hashtag Howie season. Good move.
As Charles says in the chat, check out the big brain on Howie. A lot of Pulp Fiction talk going on today. Yeah, John Mechie, I think he had like 40 offensive snaps so far on the season. We thought maybe he would be the dirty work receiver. And so the Eagles, Jamie, they trade a 3 for a 2 in this trade somehow for a John Mechie the third, for a Michael Carter the second. Look, and Howie has...
And I learned this yesterday, Rich. Sorry to interrupt. I did not know why a second was not a junior. And Fran actually told us the story in his family that a true junior has to have the same middle name, but a second can be the same first name, different middle name. So there is a difference between a second and a junior, which I was unaware of as of yesterday.
And I was unaware of that, even though I am a junior. I never,
I'm a junior as well, and I
never
didn't
put
know.
that together. Yeah. I guess makes sense. My dad and I have the same middle name.
Yeah,
so
I had
I'm
the
a
same middle
junior.
name as my dad.
By the way, being a junior is way better than a
Definitely.
second. You just feel like an old man already when you're a second.
Yeah,
So.
and my cousin was the third, and when he was a kid with a lisp, he used to call himself John Thomas Lynch the Turd, and that was always a funny running joke to us in the family.
Well, you guys with your evolved humor over there, that's
Still funny 35 years later.
Okay, so James, Howie, he's loved making these moves on the periphery. The last 3 months, I looked it up, and Jacorian Bennett, John Mechie, Sam Howell, Fred Johnson, and Tank Bigsby, and now Michael Carter. Outside of Jacorian, it's been swaps. It's been 6th round picks, 7th round picks. There's been a few fists mixed in there, but those have also been involved in the swaps of the trades. And, Howie is just like, he's always been the most active general manager in the NFL, but he's been particularly active, I feel like, on the periphery of the roster. The question is now, does this mean that he's going to get a little more involved? Like at the end of yesterday's emergency show, they put some turkeys, Fran and Bo, on. Are we going to have another emergency pod next week?
What were the turkey usage? Do you remember? Because I watched, but I think I blacked out.
It was higher than 50% on both of them.
Ooh.
I think Fran was around 60. Bo might have been around 70. I could be. It's in that realm. So
Okay.
they think it's more likely to happen than not. And I guess I would even take that a step further and ask you: do you think it's going to be not just another emergency pod, but an emergency pod of note, where
Of excitement.
Howie he's been dipping into the 5th round picks, the 6th, 7th swaps deep in the draft? Could we see a 3rd round pick for a player that probably is a bigger name than Michael Carter II, and probably plays, maybe at edge rusher, a more premium position as well?
Yeah, ultimately, I think every Eagles fan would love to hear that Trey Hendrickson has been traded to the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's obviously going to cost you not only financially, but some real draft capital. I think that's a pipe dream. Probably won't happen, but that would be the pipe dream emergency podcast from Bo and Fran for sure. In regards to the details yesterday, by the way, the Eagles had 2 6th-round picks, one of which I believe was from the Packers, and the Jets are going to receive whatever ends up being the better pick of the 2. So they did, lose some of those late round picks that Howie covets. Going into the season, they had so many, 17 draft picks next year, I think it was. So, like, you knew that they were going to tinker and wheel and deal with a lot of these picks.
And he has, but they've been later.
Yeah,
Is
so
now... Is he going to dip into those third-round picks?
And 6th and 7th round picks, look, they're great to have, but, like, when you lose them in a trade, it's like, yeah, whatever. Your 3rd-round pick is when you start to really notice. I think we'll get into some of the names today that could cost you that. I don't know if there's a ton out there outside of about maybe 3 or 4 names that would cost you that premium capital. But I kind of do think they're going to push in, Rich. Like, my gut right now says by Tuesday at 5:00, there's going to be an emergency podcast. I don't think they're going to get into the 2nd-round territory, but I fully feel like a 3rd rounder's on the table.
I think so too. And I'm going to step up and I'm going to say it's going to be an edge rusher.
I think that's the only position they would go in for, right?
Well, Bo did say that, he used the old Sam Hinkie word, optionality, where, and we're going to get to that in the 2nd segment, the flexibility that Michael Carter II could give you in terms of moving Coop around potentially. But I think this is a smaller move, and I think they really probably only have one big move in them at the trade deadline.
I would think so, yeah.
And I think it's going to be at pass rush. What do you think about that?
I think also pass rush. We're going to get into the names, of course. But yeah, I mean, to me, that's the glaring need. Because after the bye, look, Nolan Smith's going to return in. Our coworker BG is going to be out there. So theoretically, you're getting better at the position. But also, what we're going to get to later in the show, I still feel like this is a Super Bowl caliber team. And they sense that, there's Lane Johnson, who's at the end of his career. You owe it to guys like him and some of these vets to make another run at it. So if you are going to push in, I think defensive edge is absolutely the move to go in on.
Yeah, and I was...
It helped you win last year, right? Like, you dominated Patrick Mahomes because the defensive line dominated. Like, that was a key to their success, and they're just worlds of difference this year.
So Ayush brings up in the chat that the Eagles have the Jets 3rd-round pick, which is from the Hassan Reddick trade a few years ago, which is basically a late 2nd-round pick at this point. That is true. What do you think if they get the Jets back on the phone, that pick for Jermaine Johnson? Does that have any interest to you?
I don't want to speak for EJ, but I know that's his guy that he's a little bit hyped on to go get in the trade market. Yeah, that would excite me some. Because then you're talking about a rotation of Nolan Smith, him. Look, Jalen Hunt is coming on strong. Our man Vinny's been talking about him all year. They kind of have like a little bit of a friendship going on, so he's been high on the Jalen train. Jalen is, I think, really taking that next step. If you come out and add a Johnson to the mix, and you have a rotation of Jalen Hunt, Nolan Smith, Johnson, Brandon Graham.
I was laughing at a Johnson to the mix, but sorry, keep going. I'm bad. Keep going.
No, that's completely fine. It's right in my wheelhouse, Rich. I think if you get a rotation of those 4 or 5 guys at the edge group, you just took your group from no sacks through 3 or 4 games to maybe one of the better ones in the NFC. If Nolan Smith does what the team hoped he was going to do this year, all of a sudden that becomes a strength of the team if you go get a Johnson.
Yeah, and I was watching Vic Fangio's press conference, Flex, yesterday.
Yeah, big Flex.
And he basically said, I guess it's 2 days ago now, but he was talking about, hey, the Eagles got 5 sacks I believe in the second half of the game against the Giants. But he was like, look, and that was great, but our pass rush still can get better. Like you said, they are going to get BG into the fold. They are going to get Nolan Smith back, which, again, that should make a difference in that game. Vic also talked about part of the reason that Jahad Campbell had that weird usage on Sunday. I don't completely buy this, but some of it was the lack of depth that they had at the edge position. So
I do buy that.
So they were sort of tweaking both positions. Yeah, okay, maybe I buy it.
I mean, they just don't have a lot of bodies there, and that's the only reason I buy it.
And our old friend ZB, who sat in this seat yesterday and talked to David Baker, he asked Vic a question.
Back Zerman?
Yeah, he asked a question to Vic where basically it's like, is it easier to acquire a nickel than an outside corner? And Vic, in a very Vic way, was like, yeah, that might be true. That might be true. We haven't gotten there yet in terms of the Cooper decision, but yeah, I think it's definitely easier to acquire a nickel. So
let's give Bo a little credit too. Him and Mina Kimes yesterday, about an hour before the trade debt went down, brought up Michael Carter as a potential trade candidate. They were on it, and then it broke, and it was kind of like one of those like, whoa. I was like, nice job, Bo. Him and Mina broke down Michael Carter, and does he work here? And the point of their conversation was exactly what you're alluding to with Vic, is that it's easier to find an inside guy than it is an outside guy. And that's just the reality of the situation. So what does it mean for the Eagles defense?
I don't know. And look, there are other names too. I think Bradley Chubb is another name that we were talking about. Older player, but he does have 4 sacks on the season. It'll be interesting because Howie has not had great trade deadlines in his past. As good as he is.
Guys that like on paper sound good, but they never really work out that well.
Oh, look, if you go back to the coverage of
Robert Quinn, I was all quinned up.
You were quinned up for that one. I will say
who's the safety 2 years ago?
Kevin Byard.
Yeah, Kevin Byard. I love that move.
It was a disaster.
Disaster.
Yeah. Not all Kevin Byard's fault, but man, I was like, this is great. He's got a little bit of a connection to the area as well. And yeah, I mean, the pencil happened to Kevin Byard, and yeah, felt like Kevin Byard was in the middle of all the bad plays. So, yeah. So there have been players like that. There also have been players like Jannard Avery who didn't get anybody excited, and it turned out like he didn't really know how to play football, honestly.
Molly in Barkley's life does call out a great one.
Jay Ajayi,
Jay Ajayi
that was
huge.
the big hit.
That was the big hit
in.
But you're right.
2017.
It's kind of, I guess, one of his weaknesses is the trade deadline deals. So we'll see. Michael Carter, you have a chance here to prove it wrong and make Howie look like a genius finally.
Yeah, but
or again, I should say, not finally.
I would go back with the pass rush. I think it is easier to acquire a pass rusher than a CB2 who you can slide into that role. Okay, after the break, we're going to talk about, but even outside of the trades, what does this mean for the Eagles defense? What does this particularly mean for Cooper DeJean over the second half of this season? Because Coop has, there we go. Yeah. Coop's got some flexibility, and how the Eagles deploy him, I think, will be of great interest to all Eagles fans in the coming weeks. But first, we are going to hear from a few of our friends. And guys, Bet365, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary. Bet365, guys, they have 90 million users worldwide and live stream 780,000 events this year. And the thing that I love about Bet365 are the early payout offers. And let's take football, for example. With the Bet365 early payout offer, you are a winner if your team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. You don't have to worry about your team completely blowing the lead because Bet365 pays you out early. So download the app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Last NFL season, both money lines were paid out 4 times because of the early payout and end result to the game. And it also applies to your college football bets as well. And there's breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $300 in bonus bets when you bet $5 win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 and over and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It was really nice last weekend. Bo Wolf invited me over to his house. He said, you want to watch some Saturday college ball? I said, are you kidding me? Of course I do. But his setup, Rich, it was a total mess. It was lagging, buffering. He had to switch between apps to find the game of the week. He claimed he was a big fan, but I felt like I was fan-fished as soon as I walked in the Wolf household. So if you call yourself a true football fan, you got to have Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. I can find the best games and my favorite teams. All you got to do is hit that little C button on the remote. Brings up everything for you. Live in-game stats, all the games that are airing. It's the perfect fan flex. I've got all the action in my living room, plus Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. So clear, it feels like you're in the stadium. Sometimes you get the multi-view going. You get 4 games going at once because why not? On top of that, I get real-time notifications, live stats right there. It's the best seat in the house every time. So next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail, Bo. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
And welcome back to the PHLY Eagles Show presented by Bet365 and Ashley and James. Okay, let's.
So I just got sent a tweet, Rich, that
look at you
is in our Discord, which by the way is awesome, and you should consider becoming a Discord member with us as part of your diehard membership. But Rich, this tweet goes right into the vein of what we're talking about today, and let's react to it in real time together. Because Yahoo Sports Charles Robinson, you buy what he's selling?
Well, I don't know what he's selling yet.
Well, typically as a journalist, he's usually fairly in the know.
Going to put Charles Robinson on blast?
Yeah, let's put him on the hot seat.
I like a Robinson.
Yeah, I like Charles. He seems legit. He was just on Cleveland Afternoon Radio and says he's hearing that the Philadelphia Eagles are quote unquote hot after Myles Garrett.
Oh.
But he was told, as of now, the Browns are not moving Garrett.
I believe that.
That's very interesting.
Well, look, we said that the Eagles are going to be after edge rusher. And I do wonder if it's like the combo we had right before the break. Howie has shopped in the aisle of, like 3rd round pick, 4th round pick for those edge rushers. Hasn't really worked out. Maybe he wants to get in another aisle. And sure, that would be very expensive. Myles Garrett, by the way, do you know how many sacks he had last weekend?
He had at least 4. Was it 5?
It was 5.
Jeez.
It was 5. Good job.
Julia beat me to that one.
Julia knew it was 5. They got killed.
She knows ball.
Because the Browns stink. But
yeah,
he's very good at football.
And Howie's kind of been like a white whale for Howie. So when I was with Bo and Back Zerman down at Radio Row at the Super Bowl, Myles was walking by one day, and I was like, dude, I got to go try. He's doing like all the big national guys, and he's got a swarm of handlers around him. And I didn't want to do this at all, but I was like, I did it for the game, And I went up to him, and I was just like rolling on my camera, and I was like, hey, Myles, what about Philadelphia? And his handlers like, dude, they swarmed me like it was the.
Did you get tackled?
No, but they like basically were like swatting my phone away. Like,
oh wow,
it was so ridiculous because he was walking around Radio Row, and at the time, the talk was the Eagles wanted him. They were going to go after him, and Myles was getting peppered with Eagles questions left and right. So I didn't really, and he just kind of smiled at me and was like, yeah, and we just kept walking. So Howie's been after this man.
And by the way, good hustle by you. And when you're Myles Garrett, and he was, I know he eventually signs the contract with the Browns in the offseason, but when you're batting your eyelashes at the rest of the league and looking for a trade, and I believe had a public trade demand, when you go on Radio Row to sort of get the word out, hey, look, my buddy Jamie sticking a cell phone in your face, that's nothing, right?
Yeah.
So handlers, like, come on.
Be a
little more courteous to my
At some point, the Browns are going to have to call this, right?
You would think so, right? You
can't have a miserable corner piece of your foundation, because this isn't like 1 or 2 years of miserableness. He's been miserable in terms of winning in the NFL since he's been there. Like, he's never had a chance. And he's one of the best players in the league.
I mean, this was the talking point in the offseason, too. And then he signed the contract. And I think a lot of people were like, all right, man, like, do you really care about winning? But I do think from the Browns standpoint, of course it makes a ton of sense. He's an older player. He clearly has a few good more years left in him, because that edge rusher position, it ages nicely. And like I just said, he had 5 freaking sacks last week and destroyed the Eagles and joined practices as well.
What would you give up for him? Would you give 2 first without blinking an eye?
I think I would give 2. The issue is that you're acquiring him at the trade deadline. Like, I would have given 2.
I don't know if there's like a variation in his cost effectiveness, right? Like, he's always going to be expensive.
He's always going to be good. Yeah, he might just be that type of player. It would have been nice to trade 2 for him in the offseason, so you have
you already like got past one of them
for the entire year. You might have. You might have been able to make other moves, right? We're not talking about the edge rusher position. I mean, Fran at the time was like, I would trade 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett. That's a lot, but I think the general point is that Myles Garrett is a complete game changer and a complete game wrecker. On that side of the ball.
And the league's talking about Trey Hendrickson, right? Is like the pipe dream, but maybe Howie's ducking when everybody else is going the other way, and he's going after Myles Garrett. So he is signed, part of it, through 2030. And Rich, it's basically trying to look at like a yearly number here. It was a 4-year, $160 million deal. So it averages out, and there's bonuses and cap numbers that are all different and varying, but about $40 million a year.
Well, and The shorthand for people who don't study the NFL salary cap is that the salary cap is fake.
Yes, it is.
That Howie Roseman and
it's not my problem.
And used to be Jake Rosenberg. I think it's now Bryce Johnson. They can manipulate it, and with Jeffrey Lurie putting the money up front, but it feels like it would have to be really fake in this sense. I think they probably find a way.
But you do owe Jalen Carter probably something around. Now he's not having the year we kind of thought he was, but he's going to be in that $35 to $40 million range most likely.
Yeah,
average.
I think probably the lower end. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit of a prisoner of the moment here, but he's not had a great year so far. But yeah, I mean, Myles Garrett would completely change the complexion of this defense. So
come on, Cleveland, do the right thing.
I totally believe that Howie is asking because he clearly just asks everybody.
Well, he asks about everybody, yeah,
which is great. And I think Cleveland should be interested in moving Myles Garrett because they're not very good anyway. You have this premium player who could fetch just an absolute ton of draft capital, who could help start your rebuild. I mean, I think the issue with the Eagles, though, is that when you talk about first round picks,
they're later round,
and the other team is looking at it, they're like, all right, sick, guys. Yeah. Maybe that's where the third first round pick comes in. It's like, yeah, okay, sick. You're giving us the 28th pick this year.
Yeah.
Like you're not even having that good of a season so far. Oh, you're 6-2 against a very tough schedule. It's like, yeah, that's not the team. It's not exactly the Rams betting against the Falcons with that crazy trade that they made at the draft last year.
Yeah, but man, I think I'm just mulling it over. I think I would do 3 first.
Look, I get it. I mean, anyway,
if you were able to keep Carter and those guys,
even if I wouldn't do 3 first, I would talk myself into 3 first the second Myles Garrett planted the opposing quarterback right in the ground. That would be sick. I'd be like, great, should have been 4 first. Yeah, why not? Okay, so that's good by you bringing that up. I'm sure.
It goes into the conversation we're already having, so I figured I'd throw a little wrench in the works there.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now let's talk about. So we think that if the Eagles are going to make a move, it's going to be at edge rusher. There are some cornerbacks on the market like Reek Woolen and some other guys.
Jeremy Fowler had them tied to Reek Woolen like a week or 2 ago.
Denzel Ward from the Browns is another name.
I assume these are dead in the water? Or do you think they would double down on the cornerback?
Well, and that was the question I had after the Carter move is, does this trade preclude them from doing anything else in the secondary? Is this just a move to increase the optionality to just get better nickel depth? I don't know. I mean, look, Michael Carter was a little bit of a strange career in that he was a late round pick. He played a ton of ball his first 3-4 years of his career. I mean, he was a Jets nickel. Like, I think it was Daniz. He has the stats that I think he played 80% of the snaps. And if you look, it's like 2,000 snaps over those 4 years. So he played a ton. He got a contract from Joe Douglas that made him the highest paid slot corner in the league at some point. So it's kind of funny that Cooper DeJean might be looking back a little bit at the Michael Carter trade as, okay, this is where the market was set a few years ago. I'm sure there will be another contract in between now and Coops that raises over it. But yeah, the Jets, not even 12 months, a little over 12 months after giving Michael Carter that contract, he's in Philly. He's lost in the new scheme with Aaron Glenn.
So what does your gut tell you today? Do you want to see Cooper DeJean? And here's the numbers, courtesy of the Prof, who will be in with Fran tomorrow doing the show, 2:00 right here. But there's his numbers. Clearly an inside guy. And the footnote from that is those 44 snaps as an outside cornerback, 21 of which
they were in that Eagles game.
Came against the Eagles. So where
Jalen Hurts stunk that game. Yeah. 2023 against the Jets. That was their first loss of the season. Yeah.
But 85% of the snaps basically as an inside guy.
I think the point here is that the Eagles traded for a slot corner. They did not trade for an outside guy.
So what do you do with Cooper DeJean? That's what Bo and Mina were talking about when this trade happened. You can check out the Mina Kimes podcast or VOD, I guess, for those in the industry on our website if you want to catch that. If you missed it yesterday. Coop is so good at where he is right now, and he's so fun and he's so versatile that I don't want to lose that, but it does feel like if nobody seizes, and look, Jacorian Bennett was kind of getting the preferential treatment before the injury, and maybe he'll come back and perform well and this conversation will look foolish in 14 days. But as of right now, I think Coop is so good you can put him wherever it makes sense, and it's going to be fine. I don't want to move him, but he'd probably be the best cornerback too you could put out there as an outside guy.
I am at the point where I think that is the likeliest scenario with the Eagles.
See, I don't know if it's likeliest, but I think it makes the most sense.
Look, we've been talking about this all year where they don't want to move Coop outside because he gives them a special element on the inside of their defense. Mina and Bo were talking about it yesterday. Uncle Vic was talking about it 2 days ago, where he like literally is he's a straight shooter. He's telling you, man, we really value him at that position. But Jamie, I look at this defense and, we talked all year about how Coop makes these guys special. This defense has not been special so far this year. They are 18th in EPA per play. They are 21st in success rate. That's even after playing the stinky poo-poo Giants the last couple of weeks. This is not the last year's defense that you are breaking up. And, if we're going to frame this as optionality and it gives the Eagles multiple choices of whether they can move Coop to the outside or they could stick with the triumvirate of Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson, and Jacorian Bennett. If you're going to frame it that way, like if the Keely, Adoree, Jacorian triumvirate, if nobody steps forward, if that group fails, I think that group's going to fail, man. If Jacorian Bennett is healthy and maybe shows us something that we haven't seen, okay, like things could change, but I'm not seeing it from those other guys. And one decent game from Keely against the Giants, that's not going to change my mind.
Putrid wide receiver room too that Keely, looked good against.
So can you get competence from a guy like Michael Carter II inside and move Coop outside? I think there is more of a chance than we thought earlier in the year that is actually going to be the best combo for the Eagles. Because
I'm with you because I think Coop is good wherever you put him, right? Like he is just a football player. I'm not worried about him underperforming at cornerback too. It's the question it comes down to is Michael Carter in Coop's position better than, Jacorian Bennett as CB2? I would have to think yes, right, Rich? To your point?
I think so.
Now, do they do it?
I think Coop is clearly their second best cornerback.
Oh, he might be their best player.
Yeah.
He's up there.
When you put him in the slot, he's their best player.
But like if I'm Cooper's agent, and let's say Coop calls his agent and he's like, hey, they're mulling over moving me outside. If I'm his agent, I'm going, yeah, dude, take outside. You're going to be great at it, and there's better money for you. And, it's kind of a win-win for him unless he's just set on playing the Coop position that he is now. I'd be open to the move.
He's such a team player. It just feels like he's willing to roll with the punches, do whatever. He's still, by the way, as I was watching from the press box the other day, Flex with EJ. He's still after touchdowns. He's still doing his celebration after anybody makes a big play. He's very excited when Keely and NQ get breakups on passes as well. But I completely agree with you. And the calculus, it's something we talked about this offseason, foreshadowing a few years from now, is that, the outside corners get paid more money than the slot guys.
Yeah.
Michael Carter II was the guy who set the market at slot cornerback. It's not typically a position that gets paid highly. And we were saying, well, if Coop sticks in there and they're basically a top 5 defense over the next few years, in large part because he's so good with the run defense.
Could he change the monetary payment of the position?
I feel like his agent would be like, look, we need to shatter the market with this next contract. But like you said, if he moves outside and he kills it out there, then I think there is a little bit of a different calculus.
And Nunya in the chat says he's probably going to get outside money regardless. Probably. That's fair. But if it's up to Coop and they say, hey, do you want to do this for the betterment of the team, I think it's a no-brainer for him because of the money, because he's going to be good at it. He's just an awesome football player, and I do think it makes the Eagles better. We'll see. It's going to be very interesting. It's kind of nice that the bye's here to integrate Carter, to get some looks at him in practice next week before the game. You get a little bit of acclimation. He gets the playbook during the bye week. He gets to learn and maybe talk to Vic a little bit. So that's all helpful. We'll see. Maybe I am with you. They do actually make the move.
Yeah. So look, I think we all can agree that Coop is awesome in the slot, but I just think they've screwed up the CB2 spot enough.
Big time.
it seems like it's going to be the best move. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about what the defense can do a week and a half from now against the Green Bay Packers. Two Sundays off in a row, James, by the way. We got the bye week, and then we got to wait till Monday Night Football.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even realize that.
The next week.
Because with the bye week Sunday, I got committed to a wifey. It was in control. So
Okay.
I'm doing whatever.
What did she decide?
We're getting together with some of her friends and the kids in a play date at one of her friends' houses because she hates like that I'm gone every Sunday.
Sure.
So I just kind of like bow down on bye week. And I'm like, whatever you will do with me.
Absolutely. Love to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll have a lovely time.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. Yes, I will be with my girlfriend doing the rounds, non-football things.
Are
I would
you
say.
apple picker or pumpkin patcher?
I don't think it's that. We might go to like a museum maybe or
Okay.
something like that in
Nice.
Philadelphia.
Have you done the barns together?
No, I used to live right by there though.
Oh, you got to do the barn.
So I did the Barns when it was when I was
The OG spot?
yeah in Marion when it was like a school field trip or whatever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I should check out the new location.
You should. It's awesome in there. Yeah.
Okay. We will figure out our Sunday plans after we hear from a few more of our friends. And hey, Eagles fans, do you know who's playing championship level car deals every single day? Well, that's Elkins Chevrolet, located on Route 73 South in Marlton, New Jersey. Elkins is run by three brothers, Jason, Adam, and Josh. And these guys are in the store every single day working to make sure they have a huge lineup of Chevys at the best price and providing you with honkin' good service. No fumbles, no drama, just real brothers running a local business and backing every deal like it's the championship game. So if you're in the market for a new Chevy, make your next move to Elkins Chevrolet. Real brothers, real deals, and a whole lot of honkin' good service. Shop now at elkinchevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Are you ready to level up your collection or maybe just get started trading cards? I've had the itch. It was a passion of mine when I was young, and now cards are back in the biggest way. And Arena Club's original slab packs bring the thrill of ripping packs combined with the power to buy, sell, and trade all in one place. Arena Club makes it easy for you to chase grails, flip slabs, and keep your collection growing with the cards you love. Think about that trading card cycle. You buy a box, you rip some packs, you hope for the best. You got to send them away, get graded, comes back. It takes forever. Well, Arena Club has flipped the entire cycle on its head. What used to take weeks now happens all in minutes, all on their digital platform. They've taken that long grind of the physical card trading and turned it into an instant digital gratification. Arena Club is the most trusted name in the game. They offer full transparency, showing every card in the pack with the likelihood of pulling each one, so you know exactly what it is before you buy it. Once you open your pack, you get the excitement of seeing what you pulled instantly. Each slab is added to your showroom immediately and available for listing in auction, trading, or showcasing. So you can acquire the best value for your money with slab packs and transparent checklists from Arena Club's Slab Safe program. Whether you're buying, selling, trading, grading, ripping packs, Arena Club is the safest, most trusted name in the game. So right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/PHLY and use code PHLY.
And welcome back to the PHLY Eagles Show presented by Bet365 and Ashley Furniture. James, in the chat, we have Sensei Sergio St. Carlos says, I think we're going to need another D-end because he doesn't think it's a foregone conclusion that Nolan Smith or Brandon Graham remain healthy for the rest of the year.
I agree with that. I mean,
good point. But BG will be podcasting with us for the
Yes.
rest of the year. And we have a deal as well.
I think BG's immediately going to help the run defense. What he gets you in terms of rushing the quarterback, TBD. And Nolan Smith, I think we all wanted to see more from in the first 3 games or whatever it was that he got hurt, maybe 2. I can't even remember. He needs to,
I think it was 3. Yeah.
Yeah, 3. They put a lot of eggs in his basket, assuming he was going to take that next leap. And, it was a slow start, but September in the NFL with training camp the way it is these days, it's kind of, I don't want to judge somebody entirely off of September, but you're going to need to see Nolan Smith come back and make a difference, like kind of quickly.
he got better he got way better as the season went along.
Oh,
last
absolutely.
year. And I think the hope is just with his injury that, he's going to have 6-7 weeks in here in the middle of the year. That's a long break. Hopefully he's fresh and rested and ready to go. But I still think they're probably going to need another DN, and maybe it's Jermaine Johnson. I love the idea of, like Michael Carter, Joe Douglas just pounding the table, and man, that poor table just man.
Real David Baker fists right there on Joe Douglas.
That would be something.
I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about Myles Garrett now.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not going to be able to stop thinking of David Baker. So, all right, James, let's transition a little bit because we are at the bye week.
Yeah,
for the Eagles, and it's last year was an early bye week. Sometimes it's a little later in the season. Right in the middle of the season for the Eagles right now. 8 games.
I think most people agree this is a good time for the bye.
Look, I think any time's the good time for the bye.
I hate the early buys.
Look,
if it's what is it, week 5 it starts?
For my whole life, I said I hate the early buys, and I hate them in principle because your team is not banged up. The Eagles had the best bye week in the history of bye weeks at week 5 last year. It was unbelievable. It was perfectly timed.
Yeah.
And it changed their season.
Yeah, you're right.
I can't hate on the early bye anymore.
It changed because of Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
What an impact he had when, as soon as out of the bye, just boom, they were a different team.
Yeah, and there were other stuff there.
Sure.
Sirianni, by the way, Nick, if you want to shave the head again, I don't think it's a bad move.
Well, they got 2 wins in a row now. Does he need to shave that?
I think he could always shave the head. Yeah.
I would like to see a funny Halloween, like mullet shaving or something.
And by the way, we have the evidence. Nick, that hair grows back fast, man.
Yeah, he's pretty quick.
Yeah. Impressive stuff. Yeah. So they will be playing in Green Bay next week, but we thought it would be a good time to sort of take stock of where we think the Eagles stand at the top of the NFC. Like, look, the NFC, very good conference, just pretty loaded. Maybe not the NFC East as much because the Eagles are out in front there, but there are a lot of good teams that the Eagles have already played so far this season, and they will continue to play because their schedule is just ridiculously tough this year. And I do think that's something that we should keep in mind the entire season.
The hardest. Yeah.
Like, look, have they not been able to run the ball great? No, not for most of the year. Last week was a welcome change in that regard. Has the defense been up and down in terms of stopping the run? And just from a success rate standpoint, like on a play-by-play basis, they could get a lot better. But man, they're facing kind of a murderous row outside of the Giants so far.
The fact that they're 6-2, I think, is an unequivocal win.
It's great.
Yeah. I mean, this is a really hard schedule. Those first 4 games to be 4-0 after that was wild because that's really, really tough.
So with all that in mind, where would you have the Eagles if we're doing people do the power rankings every week. You know why they do those power rankings? Because they get clicks. They get people to pay attention. If you're doing the NFC power rankings right now, where are your Philadelphia Eagles sitting?
I have them number 1. I'm not going to let, the 2 losses, they lost back-to-back games. Oh my God. I'm not going to let it affect that. I think Detroit, look, I think it's a really, really good conversation. But I'm going to err on the side of having seen it from the Eagles and not really having seen it from Detroit. Jared Goff, when it comes to the playoffs, hasn't really done it. I mean, he turns into an interception machine.
That game against Washington that's bad.
That was so
Washington
bad.
Defense sucked.
So bad.
To throw all those picks against them. Come on.
And Jalen Hurts plays his best football when the game's the biggest. So, is Detroit a better team today, right now? Maybe slightly, but if I'm projecting ahead, I'm going to give the advantage to the team that I've seen do it on the biggest of stages. It comes down to Hurts versus Goff. Hurts protects the football. Say what you want about what he is and where he ranks, and is he top 5? Call the number 610. All that crap. He protects the football, and he gives them a chance to win every single game.
Call the number 610.
Which station do you want? I worked at both. I can do either one.
I'm with you.
But he protects the ball, and that matters a lot when you're kind of having these conversations. Is Jared Goff is probably going to turn the ball over. Jalen Hurts, chances are he's not, and that could be the difference of the game. So I'm going to go Eagles slightly ahead of the Lions. How do you have it?
I have the Lions number 1.
That's fair. I can't discredit you.
I have those 2.
They're very good.
part of the reason too, and look, I'm not trying to have, and thank you, Lindsay, for putting it up on the screen for us right now. I don't know. I like how they're playing. If they don't suffer the amount of injuries that they did on the defensive side of the ball, like I'm not giving Jared Goff a break for the playoff game last year. I am giving their defense a little bit of a break. They were comically injured last year. Jahmyr Gibbs is so fun.
He's so good.
And even with the coordinator changes, like it seems like they have the infrastructure there to still be a pretty explosive offense. But I hear what you're saying with the Eagles because I can't really drop them any lower than 2.
No.
Because like, look, the Eagles are the team that you got to hand it to them, right? They're the team that's been there. They're the team that, frankly, is pretty darn good every season, even if they're having a weird season. And they are the reigning Super Bowl champions, a team that we have seen turn it on in November, December, all the way through February as well. And look, they look pretty good last week as well. So I have the Lions 1. Now, look, that's going to be a fun game in a couple weeks.
It's going to be a great game.
Sunday Night Football in Philadelphia.
Dan Campbell biting kneecaps. It's going to be awesome. Gibbs is awesome. And I think you're right. Like most people probably have Detroit slightly ahead of the Eagles. But part of me when I do these exercises is projecting ahead a little bit and those kind of, X factors. So and look, I know you can make the case the Eagles have had a lot of lucky wins. And if Jordan Davis doesn't block a kick, they're 5-3 and it's not nearly as impressive. But that's what part of a champion is, right? Like, Michael Jordan used to pull wins out of his rear end all the time, and I bring him up because of the cosplay with Jalen Hurts. That's what champions do.
Yeah.
They find ways to win games. So, while I recognize, they've gotten, lucky or out of some close ones, that's part of being a winning team, is winning those close ones.
Well, and last year it was frustrating because the Lions had a pretty easy schedule last year, and it was like, oh my God, they're gonna have to play them in the dome in the playoffs, where it just seems like their offense is so much more explosive. I think they had like one game in cold weather all of last year against the Bears, which was that was an easy win last year. Hopefully you can get them outside this year as well. But I've been impressed with them, and the fact that they were so good in the regular season the last 2 years as well. I'm going to give them a little bit of a nod because the Eagles have been up and down. So number 3 for both of us.
The next game on the schedule
was the Green Bay Packers. James, did you watch any of the Sunday Night Football game?
A little bit. Tucker Kraft's a beast.
That was so 2 big takeaways.
The uniforms are awesome. I love the white helmets, and Tucker Kraft's really good.
It also, like, watching Rodgers try to talk smack with those ridiculous Steelers uniforms.
Those are so ugly.
Looking like a brittle old man as well. That was kind of funny. I had 2 takeaways just in complimenting the Packers. I mean, one that I didn't have, but Jordan Love, who I can't quite figure out. Like, he makes it look so good when he's good.
I know.
Man, they have weeks where they're just like pretty uninspiring.
I am not a believer until he gives me a reason to be. I'm kind of like a little bit of a quasi hater.
Sure.
Like, I think he's good, but I think he's like mid.
Yeah.
Like in that 9 to 14 range where, like, yeah, sure, he could theoretically win in this league and get you over the hump, but I don't believe it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, it feels like he was anointed after that playoff run.
Yeah.
It wasn't really even a playoff run. It was, by the way, and Jordan Love, thank you, because the 2023 playoff game, Green Bay at Dallas, was probably the most fun I've ever had. It's not the most fun I've ever had watching a football game because that was the Super Bowl last season with the Eagles, and there are some other Eagles games, 44-6 against Dallas. There are some other ones when the Eagles are just dancing to a victory the entire game that are better. That one was way up there, and the Eagles were in a tailspin at that point. So Jordan Love, thank you for that moment. But I agree with you. Yeah, he still needs to prove it to a degree. I was going to say that there was one player on offense and one player on defense for Green Bay that I was really impressed by. You mentioned the offensive guy, Tucker Kraft.
Stud.
Just has the juice.
He might be the best tight end in the league this year.
Just can get him open in a whole bunch of ways.
But
run after catch.
When the Eagles match up with the Packers, they have a great linebacking core, and they have Cooper DeJean.
That'll be a fun matchup. Cooper DeJean against Tucker Kraft.
Yeah.
Zach Bond against Tucker Kraft as well. The other guy, and I'm very happy that he's not playing for his old team. Micah Parsons, man, he looks like he's starting to gain his legs, man.
He's pretty good.
He had a couple sacks where it's just like, oh, that's so good. Like he's like looping. He's looping around the edge. He's like putting a spin move. There was one play, Jamie, he got a sack. He basically beat 3 guys with like a spin move. They also give him some versatility where they can line him up like a linebacker, as Fran would say, sprinkling a little sugar over the over the AA gaps. Yeah,
it brings me a lot of joy because I saw a clip of our DLLS counterparts down there in Tejas, and they're miserable because I think it was the Monday show after watching the Packers game, and obviously edge rusher is in need of the Cowboys right now as they're once again kind of falling apart.
They miss him a little bit, yeah.
They're miserable watching him play, and it brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah,
so thank you, Jara.
That Dallas team is all offense.
Yeah.
No defense.
All gas, no brakes.
No defense. Dak's playing pretty well this year.
He's playing really well. It doesn't
matter. Yeah. He just
all gas, no brakes.
They can't stop anybody. Yeah. So that'll be a fun game, tough test. I love that the Eagles are getting it off of a box as well, getting ready to prepare.
That's in Lambeau as well, too, which is very cool. I always it's like Fenway Park. We talked about on the Philly show the other day. I always love watching a game in Lambeau.
It's the one football stadium that has that character nostalgia. A lot of the football stadiums are just new domes and not as cool. Okay, and just wrapping this up quickly.
Me and you flip-flopped again at 4-5 here.
We did. We have the Bucks and the Rams flip-flopped. By the way, and this goes to show like the fact that the Eagles beat both of those teams.
Yeah.
Those are nice wins, man. I know they were uneven. I know the offense was completely asleep for the first half of the Rams game and the second half of the Bucks game. But those are nice wins to get over good teams. I think they could come in handy down the stretch too as a tiebreaker as well. And then
Tom Brady yesterday, real quick, released his power rankings as everyone seems to do. And he had the Bucks at like 4 and the Eagles at 7. And I was like,
that's crazy.
I'm like, Tom, the Eagles beat the Bucks in their house.
Totally.
Not a differentiator here for you?
And that was not a crazy, like the Eagles, the first half of that game was as good as they've played all year. It was just beautiful football. And they let their foot off the gas as they did for long stretches of literally every single game before this last one. But I mean, come on, you got to rank the Eagles.
And then the last two, Rich, I think are unserious.
So I think the Seahawks are a little more serious than the Niners.
Maybe that's fair.
I agree. There's like a skepticism with Darnold, right? The Vikings were one of the NFC's best teams up until week 18 last year, their 17th game. They had a chance to be the number 1 seed, and then they just had 2 straight up disastrous weeks, got their butts kicked by Detroit, got their butts kicked by, I believe, the Rams it was in Arizona, because they had to move that game. Yeah, I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba
he's nasty.
Unbelievable.
Take Ohio State wide receivers. It almost always works out.
Dude, I was looking up yesterday because of the Puka Nacua Devontae Smith discussion that EJ and Bo and Fran had a few days ago. Jackson Smith and Jigba is leading the NFL in yards per route run by a mile. It's pretty crazy. So he's having a great year. I think they are a little more serious than the Niners.
Yes, that's fair.
Because the Niners are super banged up.
I mean, losing Fred Warner is a massive blow for their defense. I just am a doubter / hater of the 49ers quarterback position. Purdy or Mac Jones, like, come on.
You're a hater? I'm like a hater of Purdy, but I'm also a little bit of an appreciator of him.
Yeah.
That one beat writer in San Francisco, I'm not a huge fan of, like him pumping him up as like basically the next Joe Montana. But
yeah, I think I respect what Purdy himself has done. I think the hype around him is what makes me a hater.
And there's less hype, in fairness, now because they're not the best team in the NFL.
But when he won, like, remember it was like 15 of his first 17 games or whatever, the narrative got out of control and I got forced into that corner.
Yeah. Okay, we have a few more things to get to and some overtime to get to in a little bit. But first, we are finally going to hear from our last 2 sponsors. And guys, here is a fact that shocked me. Mitsubishi Motors is #1 in customer satisfaction with dealer services among mainstream brands and SUV owners. That's not just me saying it either. That's JD Power. So if you're looking for the most affordable 7-passenger SUV in America, CherryHillMitsubishi.com has you covered with the 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander. Take advantage of their year-end sales event with 0% for 60 months APR financing on the entire 2025 Mitsubishi lineup for PA residents only. Offer not valid with a trade-in and subject to credit approval by a third party, and not all applicants may qualify. Combine all of that with the best warranty in the automotive business. 10 years for every 100,000-mile powertrain, 2 years of included limited maintenance, and 5 years of roadside assistance. Terms and conditions apply. Why settle for a lesser warranty and be on the hook for costly repairs down the road? So stop in today at Cherry Hill Mitsubishi and tell them that PHLY sent you and receive a $100 restaurant.com gift card just for taking the test drive or completing a trade appraisal. I know people buy Mitsubishis elsewhere, but I just don't know why. Drive home in your new Mitsubishi today, just minutes from all bridges, or available online 24/7 at cherryhillmitsubishi.com.
Whether joint pains or injury disrupt your routine, getting the right care should never be a hassle. And Rothman Orthopedics makes it easy with convenient office locations throughout the region, plus walk-in and urgent care centers when you need that help fast. And when you get older, things start to hurt, and sometimes you just need it fast. Whether it's a new injury or something that's been bothering you for a while, expert orthopedic care is just around the corner. So schedule your appointment today at rothmanortho.com/PHLY. Rothman Orthopedics, your mobility, our mission.
And welcome back to the PHLY Eagles show. And Jamie, we got a few more things to wrap up here, a few more odds and ends to tackle. I guess the first question that I've had on my mind since I learned what the costume exactly was what did you make of
Good work by you here. Investigative reporting.
Well, it was a lot of people there. We had people in our Discord just figuring it out, and I, as somebody who had seen this movie, would have never in a million years guessed that Jalen Hurts went with the costume. He was Morgan Freeman as God in 2023's fifth highest rated movie, which is crazy. Bruce Almighty. I did not think Jalen Hurts would go with that costume, but clearly when you looked at it, he's got the whole janitor costume, changed the hat up from the Yankees hat, which I appreciate. But the real give is he has the towel in the back pocket. He had it perfectly. I did not peg Jalen Hurts as an early 2000s Jim Carrey comedy type of guy.
Well, you have a theory that his niche is early 2000 bad comedies.
It's a half-baked niche based on some fuzzy memories that I have about coverage all the way back in 2022. And as Bo always says, my memory stinks. Like having a memory from 2022, like it's basically gone with all the shows that we do.
So what was the other thinking, that he was Mr. Johnson, the custodian from Abbott Elementary? Were those the two most common theories on the Halloween costume?
But he doesn't look like the way that guy dresses up at all. So
you watch Abbott Elementary?
I don't.
It's pretty good.
It feels like it's pretty good, and I certainly. What is the name of the actress who is the one who's the showrunner of it?
Quinta
Brunson.
Jalen's sister.
Not Jalen Brunson's sister. No. But certainly support her and everything.
Yeah,
seems
my
like
wife is a high school teacher in the city, and she said it's scary accurate.
Seems like he reps Philly pretty.
Yeah, yeah, and he's been in the show, so I figured that. But that's good work by you finding out he was God.
Yeah. But the idea that Jalen is a Bruce Almighty fan, I love that for him. I love that he's dipping into like does he have any other 2000s movie takes?
Wait, Jesse Bond says, wait, did you just call Bruce Almighty a bad movie? I mean, bad, good. Like a lot of those comedies in that era were like.
Bruce Almighty is not the best of those movies.
No, it is not.
I like Bruce Almighty because I like all of those movies. But
sure.
It's not the best one.
It's not one I would like recommend to somebody. Like, you gotta see this.
No, it's not like the.
As a Jim Carrey appreciator, it was my diligence to see it and watch it, but I can't call it a great movie.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about Jim Carrey and Jalen Hurts in overtime. Yeah, man. I do like the idea, though, of Jalen Hurts being a big Jim Carrey fan, because could there be two more polar opposite personalities between Jalen Hurts, who's buttoned up and is a serious guy in all the great ways too. I'm complimenting him in this regard. A guy who shows very little emotion a lot of times. I feel like Jim Carrey is the exact opposite, but you know what? Maybe he appreciates that. Maybe Jalen Hurts, he doesn't let you know this, but maybe, at like 8 p.m. when he's done with all of his film study and he needs to turn the brain off for a couple hours, he's firing up The Mask. He's firing up Bruce Almighty.
Now, The Mask is one I'm curious.
Firing up Ace Ventura.
I mean, Ace I know holds up. Does The Mask hold up?
Does The Mask hold up?
Have you seen it in the last decade?
No, I've seen Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls in the past decade, which is a classic.
Yeah. I can't imagine too many Jim Carrey movies age all that well. Me, myself, and Irene's got to age well because that's Fairley Brothers and they're beasts. Yeah, I wonder how many of Jim Carrey's movies actually hold up. I can't imagine The Mask does.
Yeah.
The Grinch. Yeah.
That's
My girls love
the
the
kids
Grinch.
for sure.
My girls love the Grinch.
That's definitely another good one. Anyway, I love that Jalen Hurts wore that costume. It just everything.
So obscure.
I'm enjoying everything about Jalen Hurts so far this year. I love that, and I don't think I was able to say this. This was something you guys touched on in the post-game show on Sunday. But it was just such a weird viewing experience for most of the year to our eyes. Jalen Hurts was playing very good quarterback and he was seeing the field well. And it felt like he was doing a lot of positive things, but the offense was very disappointing and disjointed. And it was sort of hard to square those two things together. I love that the last 2 weeks, he continues to play great quarterback, but now the offense is cooking, right?
Yeah.
And they're having big games against the Vikings, against a very good defense, and just lighting up the Giants. Look, that's not a very good defense, but they lit them up to a degree that you should light up a team. You know, one of the best EPA per play performances of his career.
Which is crazy. Better than the Super Bowl, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
It seems like the NFC Championship game is the only one that has been up there since the Super Bowl 52. Anyway, I've really enjoyed the Jalen Hurts experience this year. And just to add on to it, the fact that he was Morgan Freeman from Bruce
Yeah,
Almighty,
that's so funny.
Very funny. I'm sure nobody...
Obscure Halloween costume, I guess, kind of fits with him, regardless of the what character it was, just being like that out there. I think that kind of tracks.
Yeah. Also, a lot of people in the chat talking about Jim Carrey. You got a little Truman Show in there.
Truman Show is underrated. I agree with you. Who was that? I lost it.
A little liar in there.
Peter? Yeah, Peter says underrated Truman Show. Yeah. Liar's good.
Dave has Eternal Sunshine, a little bit more of a serious movie there.
Serious, yeah. That was good.
That's a good one. Okay. Is there anything else we need to get through? Oh, yeah. How about the star of last night's World Series game?
This is very cool.
So how do you say his name? It's Trey Yesavage?
Yesavage, yeah, I believe.
It's so funny.
Boyertown's finest.
Now, I'm just picturing an Philly accent like Trey Yesavage.
Yesavage.
Yeah.
Boyertown is one of those places that I've heard it a ton. And there he is, big Birds fan,
big Eagles fan.
Yeah, World Series hero last night, 12 Ks.
That
was a new World Series record? Did I hear that?
I think it was a World Series record for a young pitcher.
Okay,
because he's only 22 years old.
That's crazy.
But I love it. Eagles fans everywhere,
go Birds,
including avenging the Phillies.
But Boyertown, I couldn't tell you, Rich, where the hell on a map it is. I've heard it a ton. I know it's close by. I could not. If you gave me an area of like the Delaware Valley, I don't think I could tell you where Boyertown is. What's it near?
I think it's in Montgomery County.
I live in Montgomery County.
Well,
so it has to be Upper Montco.
Have you looked at a map of Montgomery County as somebody who grew up in the lower part of Montgomery County, much closer to Delaware County? My friends and I would always joke, man. I was like, have you ever seen a map of Montgomery County?
It's huge.
Like, yeah, it goes up to it doesn't actually go up to the middle of the state, but it might as well go up to the middle of the state. And Boyertown, by the way, is not even close to I think the farthest place away.
So what's it near here? Lindsay's pulling up a map for us.
Yeah. Pottstown, yeah.
It's by Pottstown and College.
Past Collegeville, though. So that's
okay.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
Okay, and Dave says it straddles Berks and Montgomery County. Okay, yeah,
all right,
that makes some sense. But anyway, it's just
very cool to see a Birds fan do that on the biggest stage in baseball. Very cool. Congrats to the Yesavages.
That was great. I mean, he completely shut down the Dodgers. That was sick. And the fact that he's going to probably
one of us.
They should put him on the big screen at the Link in a couple months.
Yeah, they should,
because as much as Toronto, we've talked about this. I don't really care for them as much as other fans.
More than I hate
the Dodgers more than the Blue Jays, and it's not going to bother me if the Blue Jays win, even though I'm not as crazy about them. Put him on the big screen if they win the World Series, even if they don't win the World Series, because he was great in this game as well. So,
all right, Rich, I got one more for you in the theme of Halloween. Last night was carving night at the Lynch household.
Oh.
So I have 4 pumpkins here. One was done by my wife. 2 were done by me, but with the assist of my 4-year-old Paige. And 1 was done by my 6-year-old, from stenciling to carving. I was very proud of her. She did a nice job. Which pumpkin of these 4 was done by the 6-year-old?
I mean, probably the second one from the left.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Good guess there. Crazy mouth guy was done by my 6-year-old.
That's better than I would have done at 6 years old. So.
Yeah. Now, which one was done by my missus? As BG would say, wifey.
I'm going to say the one on the left.
Wow, 2 for 2.
Well, it just seems like the 2 on the right are a little more similarly carved, I would say. Not exactly the same.
So I was I was the 3rd.
I know what your mark is now. That's a Jamie
and
Lynch
and
production.
the 4th was done by me, but Paige knocked 1 or 2 of the teeth out. So we have some fake plastic teeth jammed in there.
Love it.
Yeah, it was a fun night. The girls loved it.
Well, I mean, I think everybody can enjoy. Are you big? You have to be a big Halloween person because you have kids.
I was not ever really a big Halloween person, but as a parent, you kind of it reinvigorates you, and like seeing my girls just like get so excited. So they asked me to dress up the other day. I just ordered it today. Hopefully, Lord Bezos gets it to my house in time for tomorrow night. But they were like, Dad, what are you being for Halloween? And I was like, I'm not dressing up. And they were like, come on, please, please. And I was like, all right, sucker. So I ordered a Fred Flintstone costume.
Classic.
Yeah.
Nice and easy.
Yeah, I can throw some sweats on under it, be comfortable. And it's very fun because you get to pull the wagon. I think my youngest is now out of sitting in the wagon stage, but I'll still bring it in case she wants it. And then I just throw a cooler of beer in there. You walk the neighborhood. It's a really fun night.
Yeah, no, I think
so. I think it's better for me as a parent than it ever was as I hated it in college.
I hate it.
Because I never had any money. I never had any costumes. I'd always have to string together something from like a thrift store. I always looked like a bum. You know, it was just like, it was no good.
It was always hard finding a costume. Oh, man, I should have sent this in to Lindsay before. Maybe we can do it for Monday's show.
You got an old costume?
No. A couple years ago, I dressed up as Buddy Ryan with the vest, and I had a headset with some glasses.
That's good.
It was one of my better costumes. Maybe we could do it.
Yeah, we'll have to dig that picture up for Monday.
Yeah, we could do it. Yeah, we could show it tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. We could do EJ in Paris today, and we can do my Halloween costume tomorrow. So,
real quick, what's your favorite candy?
Favorite candy for Halloween? Probably pretty simple. Probably Reese's, I would say.
Yeah, it's up there.
What about you?
I'm gonna take 5.
Oh,
guy, but Reese's close. And the mini Snickers. Something about the mini Snickers too. I think they're better than the full size Snickers.
Interesting. Yeah, that's probably true.
Because you get more chocolate coverage per bite than you do in the big one, and it's just easier to like pop them in, you know.
Yeah, Julia says that she's usually the dude. I'm sure that's
a good one.
That's a great costume. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, by the way, did you see the guy on the? We have a super chat to get to.
Polar Jam. What up?
Lindsay, did you see the guy on the? I think it's on the Blackhawks. Nick.
Yes.
Foligno.
He looks just like him.
He looks exactly like Nick Sirianni. So if that's out there, that was a very funny costume as well. And before we wrap up here, our friend Polar Jam with the super chat. EJ trying to expense his whole trip with these little videos. LOL. We will let him take that up with the higher ups.
Yeah. EJ, I don't think I'll be approving that one there, buddy. You can take that one to Todd.
I can neither confirm nor deny that. Okay, so I believe on tomorrow's show we have
the Prof and Franny Films.
They're gonna make you smart tomorrow. We make you dumb.
That's too much knowledge tomorrow.
Yeah. We make you dumb. They make you smart.
Scales of justice
tomorrow, right?
We're the dumb side. Tomorrow will be way too much knowledge.
We even it out. It's like the meme with the chart of the smart person and the dumb person. Hopefully, we come to the same outcomes. Yeah, basically. Okay, but that was a lot of fun today. Hopefully, Howie does swing a good trade. You know, get an impact edge rusher.
Myles Garrett
at the trade deadline.
Garrett. Let's get a rush.
Jamie's going to be thinking about Myles Garrett the rest of the day. But that was a fun show. Thank you to all the sickos for joining us in the chat. I should just say thank you to David Baker one more time as well. It was a really hard act to follow up. But until tomorrow, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.